I was muted. Okay. Um, so let's talk real quick about some of the problems that we have when it starts to become the holidays. Now, a lot of people, they are in September, they're like, "Oh no. Oh no, it's coming. It's coming. We're in the Burr months. Bad things are coming. We're going to all of a sudden I've got to buy gifts. What am I going to do about gifts?" And then the next thing you know, boom, it's November and then you really start to panic. By the time December rolls around, you're in full down meltdown mode. You're eating far too many cookies if you're baking at all, or you're having to run to, if you want to bake, that is, you're having to run to the store, grab some of those cheap sort of cookies that have like that weird kind of dyed like powder on them. And you're showing up to events with that. You're stressed. You don't like it. You're getting cranky with your family. You're perhaps remembering childhood Christmases that were so much better. And you wish you could get back to that phase. Well, let me tell you, I have loved Christmas my entire life. However, once I became a mom, things started to change. And about 7 years ago, I had a revelation that it occurred to me that I was not enjoying Christmas time. It was December 22nd, and I felt like I was behind the ball on everything. So if you're here, please tell me where you're from, what you're drinking. I have a delicious candy cane latte, and it is just, I know it's not actually like, I have not decorated yet. I know a lot of people have. Put in the chat or in the comments below if you're watching this later if you have already decorated. I know my pastor, as soon as it was January 1st, they went ahead and decorated because they were just feeling like it was a heavy year in a lot of ways. And you know what? I totally get that. And I myself am having the desire to watch Christmas things, but I'm holding myself back a little bit. But the best thing right now is I listed off some of the just a few of the stressors that happen at Christmas, but we're going to dive in to how we can fix this, because let me tell you, it's actually so easy. You can have a much better time, even if you are like older, you don't have children to manage. Maybe you actually don't feel like you have that much going on, but Christmas feels a little bit heavy. Don't worry, because I have got you. I'm just going to look up something here. Doo-doo-doo. Here's the thing. Part of the problem is that Christmas is very overwhelming for a lot of people, a lot of women in particular, because a lot of us, we feel responsible for everything. And to be honest, that's just, I feel like, the way a lot of us are kind of like designed. We're designed to be the manager of everything. I feel like men were meant to be the people that just went out, did the hunting, did all of the like taking down the animals and whatever. But women, we are responsible for making sure the children are okay, making sure the house is clean, making sure the meals are clean, making or cooked, making sure that everybody's clothed, that everybody's healthy. That all falls on us, and that can feel really, really stressful sometimes. And when the holidays roll around, I feel like no matter what, it's usually the women who are feeling the burden of it. And hello, Michelle and Robyn from Steveston. And Michelle, you decorate, and Elisa, of course. Michelle says she decorates the day after Thanksgiving. And yeah, that actually, so when I was a kid, I mean, we always had a real tree. So I feel like we didn't decorate until probably just a couple weeks before Christmas. I'm actually going to see my mom today. And I'm going to ask her when we did, because I feel like it was later, but I do remember the delicious smell of the fresh trees, and it makes me sad that we don't have that anymore, but that's okay. So in my house, we had once or twice decorated around Remembrance Day, which is November 11th. For me, that's just a little early. And American Thanksgiving is a little late. So I like to sort of decorate just before that, maybe the weekend before. But here are some of the things. I made a list here that often overwhelm people, women, quite often when it comes to the holidays or Christmas or whatever. So we've got decor, which may not stress a lot of people out, but it still is like a job to get it all out, put it all up. And the problem with that is quite often we feel really stressed with the results. It feels more cluttered. And I'll get into that in a minute. Another one is gifts. Now, gifts would be the one that stresses me out the most for sure. I do not love the pressure of gifts. My love language is not gift giving. However, my mom's language is gift giving. My husband's love language is gift giving. And my middle son's is. And so gifts matter. And that doesn't mean they're materialistic. It means that they receive love when somebody sort of like shows them with a gift or whatever. Another thing that can really stress people out is food. Now, food would be the one that stresses me out the least, but that mostly is because of my system that I developed. And I would say that is the thing that was sort of the tipping point for me all of those years ago. And then events. Now, let me know if I missed anything. Please put in the chat. But we're going to chat about some of the different ways that those four things can impact us. Now, one of them is sort of overwhelm. Now, I shared a few months ago that my pastor said that in his counselor had said to him that overwhelm is when we are doing the things we don't want to do and none of the things that we do want to do. Or actually that's burnout, but overwhelm I think sort of is a mixture of those things, and maybe it's just too many things that you have to do. And when it comes to Christmas or the holidays or whatever, even if you don't have a lot going on, um or if things are very stressful, if there's illness or something like that, it's when there isn't anything enjoyable happening. There's no fun, there's no time to connect with family, there's nothing to look forward to. Or if you are a person who has kids, there's so much work that it's hard to enjoy any of those times. And you have to like really force yourself to take time to maybe like watch a movie with the kids or go and do a family thing. For us, we like to go and drive around and look at the Christmas lights. And there have been times where I've been like, you know what? I don't have time. Or, I'll even say to the family, let's just skip it. Or my husband would be like, oh, we're kind of tired and I just don't really feel like it. And I'd be like, okay, great. Right. Instead of being like, no, we're going. So I think that one of the most important things is understanding what is important to you to get done, and making like if it's the tasks and things like for me and even like also for the family if it's important. But you could say, so one of our kids, we go down to Victoria, which is just down the island where I live. And we look at these Christmas lights. Now, we have done this for so long. And last year, I found it was kind of depressing. My oldest son couldn't make it. And we stay at this hotel, and the hotel I feel like is just not as nice as I'd like. There's peeling wallpaper and the road noise is loud. And I was just like, I'm not enjoying it. But my middle son, that is his favorite part of the entire holidays. And we talked about it and he said, it's actually just going to the place and he loves the drive. So I was like, how about we just do the drive, go to the place and then come back? And he was like, that works for me. And I was like, perfect, done. We came up with an alternate plan. We're going to go to Vancouver as a family to do like an actual, like more of a trip. But so going to Vancouver, that fills my bucket, that fills my husband's bucket. So that's great. Now, hello, Susie from the Hebrides. It's so great to see you, everybody. I love it. Okay, so this is my holiday handbook, and I'm going to put the link in the description in a minute because I don't have it ready. And I was printing it again, and I ran out of ink. So this is sort of like part of the planning, but this is what you can download. And let me just quickly find it. Oh, I know. But one of the things that I realized when that event happened on November 22nd which was, oh, I need to change my website. Let me hear. I'm going to put it in the chat right there. Boom. So on November 22nd, so for me, when I was growing up, my grandma always did a lot of baking. My mom did some, my dad did some. My dad always made the butter tarts, which is like a Canadian treat. And I have a recipe on my website for the Canadian family butter tarts. But it was December 22nd, and I had not got enough done. I was working a ton in my nursing job. I can't remember if I had my YouTube channels then, but I was busy and just was not getting enough done. And I felt let down. Nobody in the family was upset that I had not gotten some of this baking done, but I felt sad that I didn't get it done. And I thought to myself, how can I make sure that I get this done next year? So I wrote down all of the things that I wanted to be present. And you can do this any time of year for the garden, for whatever. But I wrote down everything that I wanted to get done. And then I organized it in this book. Now, I made the holiday handbook, which I put in the link there for you. And it has sort of like what I do, but also blank space for you to fill out what you do, because we're obviously going to have different things. But what I did was I wrote down the things. I wrote down all of the food I wanted to make. So I have all that here, like shortbread, whipped shortbread, the butter tarts, sugar cookies, all of the things. Now I don't have to make all of this, but it makes it easy for me to remember all of the things and to say, okay, I have my list here. I want to prioritize what I want to do. I also had my tasks list, which I have here, like planning. So part of that was getting our winter tires put on because we're in Canada. Mostly it just gets icy here, but a couple times it snows. You definitely want those winter tires. I have booked the hotel, as I told you about our trip to Victoria, which we've changed. Christmas lights, putting them up. I had to put them up on November 1st. We're not necessarily turning them on, but it was a matter of getting my husband on the roof before it freezes and he doesn't fall off and die. But we actually we now have permanent Christmas lights that he put up last summer, which was great. I put down, Polar Express tickets because we used to go and see that movie at the IMAX, but we might do something else. Well, we're going to Vancouver anyway, but even hair appointments just to get the kids their haircut because life starts to get crazy, not necessarily for myself. And I put down Pinterest as in to look at things that I might want to make. If you're the type of person that's like, I'm really not as into Christmas as you are, Robyn, that's totally fine. But you might be the type of person that still feels let down or feels like you dropped the ball. Now, you're not dropping the ball. There's a lot of components to Christmas for some people. And even if there aren't, if you ever do feel bummed out for whatever reason, there's something that you can do about it. And if it is a matter of you need to connect with more people, what you can do is you can make plans to make plans. Now, one of the ways that I do that is I have in my phone just like my normal calendar, and I have things in there that will repeat every single year. So we have a local Christmas train, and for the past like several years, I have missed out on tickets because they sell out in like 2 hours. It used to not be like that. It used to be you could basically get tickets like the day of, which was such a bummer now. But now I have it. So basically, like the Monday after Halloween is over at 7 a.m., I get on there and I get tickets. So I did that this year. I got tickets, which made me so happy. Other things that I have in there are booking the kids' haircuts, things like that. Pantry shopping, that was another thing, because if you do any cooking or any entertaining, or even just if you want to make a couple little snacks for yourself. So we make something in our family called nuts and bolts, which is sort of like a Chex Mix. And some of the it's a many different cereals. And in the past few years, I've noticed that these cereals start being sold out. I think it is like mostly Chex and Crispix or whatever. So getting those at the beginning of November is really, really helpful. And that is on my list as well. I also have like favorite snacks, sausage rolls, mushroom dip, like all of the things that we like, which is great. Um, and then what I do is how I treat getting ready for the holidays is with the best system of all. And that is, and I'm just going to put this up here. So this is my handbook. And I really am just like, I just made this and I just want to share it with you so you have a way for free just to download this to keep things organized. But November is for planning and for getting pretty much all of the work out of the way. And then December is for rest and for fun. Because if we want to enjoy Christmas or the holidays, we need to have time to be present, to reflect, to put those memories down. If you're so busy that you're scheduling things in like this, it's very hard to even remember what you're getting done. I'm gonna have a sip of my candy cane tea and I'm getting fired up. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay. And it's from David's Tea. They're not a sponsor. They have a sale on right now. And I think they sell to the US as well. Okay. So December is for rest and for fun. And what we do is we can plan things a little bit. So you can plan, as I said, I use my planner to every year just put a reminder for myself to go shopping for the pantry, buying the stuff for the treats, buying the stuff for the baking that I want to do. You can also make a list for things that you want to make for your Christmas dinner or whatever. Um, and just have that ready because a lot of those things you might want to buy closer to the date or not. You can always buy things and freeze them. But having that list, make it in November. Just do all of this stuff right now. You have plenty of time. Now, make the list of the Christmas dinner things you want, put it in your phone, put it on your wall calendar, just attach it and say, on December 19th or 22nd or whatever, you're going to go shopping, get that done. Nobody wants to be at the store on Christmas Eve or the 23rd or the 22nd, like the busiest days of the year. Nobody wants that. So having your list, it's just so easy. And if you download my thing, it's got examples there and it just makes it so much easier. If you want, any kind of liquor, we don't really drink any, but I do buy sparkling wine. We all share it on Christmas Eve. And then just, yeah, like I even have like my recipes that I put in this book. So the one I sent you is sort of like a template and you can put it into any old notebook or you can use the actual one. And then here's the thing that I do not like the most, and please, like, if you have any questions, go ahead and put the in the chat, but the gifts. So I wrote down everybody who we buy gifts for. And next to it, I have ideas. And it is so helpful because if you can get your gifts bought in November, it is so good. Now, in Canada, we used to, well, we still do, and in the UK, I know, have Boxing Day where it would be huge sales. And I resented Black Friday coming on in and Canadians celebrating Black Friday. I was like, stop it, stop it. But now I, what I do is I just actually do most of my shopping around then. People have sales starting now. So you can, if you have an idea, buy it. If somebody gives you, if they're later like, oh, I think I would love this for Christmas. You can either return or you can be like, perfect, I'll buy that for your birthday or for next Christmas or whatever. Yeah. And also like ideas for chocolate, stockings, whatever. Just get that stuff out of the way and keep track of what you have. Now, for me, I actually have to have a list of where I hide things because I have hidden so many things from my family, but also for myself many, many times, which has just been an issue over the years. So those are the things that I like to plan out ahead of time. Then what I like to do is I like to do so Lisa is saying the local Canadian Legion, they like people not to decorate until after Remembrance Day. I know a lot of people though who say that the soldiers fought for, our freedom and, you can still observe Remembrance Day. I usually don't because I think I did once, but I personally don't want the extra stuff around. And that brings me to clutter. So clutter, um, about Christmas and Christmas decor can really stress a lot of people out. And I was one of those people. I still feel like with the little bit of Christmas stuff, there's a little bit more stuff than I normally have out. And it does make me a little bit stressed, which is why partially why I wait until, before basically around November 20th, I'll decorate. And I like to um I will take the regular decor we have out and I put it right in the box of the decor that I am putting away. I don't want the decor commingling. They don't need to know each other. We can just have our regular decor put away. So then it's just a switch of decor, which makes it so much more easier on the eyes. It makes it easier to just be in the space and just to love it, and I really appreciate that. Um, Now the other thing that I like to do. Oh, Kim says, "There are many things I have put in a safe place that I can no longer find. Another reason to have less." Yes. Oh my goodness. And I don't know if you guys saw, I made a video last week. I put it out that we are getting carpeting put in our bedrooms. We already got the flooring in the upstairs landing, which is so good to finally have that done. But that we have to take all I'm if you've seen in my closets, we've got these four of these like packs, I think they're called wardrobes that we need to haul out of there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, not looking forward to it. But that is where I usually hid the things that I couldn't find, which is so funny. Yes, keep a where I hid it list. And I have it in my book. Nobody's ever looked in my book. They don't care. They don't care what's in my book. So what's great is I can put it there. I don't actually need to hide that much anymore. But when everybody was younger, I certainly did. Robyn says there are a few items that are very traditional every year. I have to find hard candy and whole nuts with a nutcracker. Yes. So what's great is if you go ahead and get that stuff right now, you've got it done. And those are things that will certainly last until, New Year's or beyond, if you get those now. Scheduled a group activity must be done way in advance because events sell out. Yes, and that is exactly what I found. And also, even so, the Nutcracker comes to town, like the Royal Winnipeg Ballet every 2 years. And I said to my mom, "We're gonna go," and I actually bought the tickets, but I was surprised already how many tickets were gone when I did. Then I realized I'm not even going to be in town, so I gave them to my mom to take my grandpa. Um, but yeah, and Michelle says our family is very busy, yet I intentionally plan the fun, movies, music, and knowing what our top three to dos and do them. This year it's games, neighbor gifts, and baking holiday brownies. And I love that because it is like very intentional. And what I like is when things don't happen in December. So our church home group, we're not meeting in December, which I think is great because it's just people will already not attend a lot of things because they're really busy. And so it's really nice if event people can just take that away. Now, if you're one of the people who doesn't have a lot going on, it's great to plan those events with people ahead of time. So planning with your girlfriends to have lunch or something. I'm actually going out for dinner with a couple of girlfriends tonight. And it's really important to all of us that we get together. And even last year, I did actually do sort of like a last minute plan. And I think most people were able to attend, which was really nice because it's just that moment to connect with other people. At the end of your days, the most important thing is spending time with people. And when I tell that story about realizing I hadn't made all the cookies I wanted to make, it was actually I was stressed that day, but we were on a family walk. It was one of the very rare times where it actually snowed right around Christmas. We had snow. We had a white Christmas, which was crazy. It was December 22nd. There was snow. And we were going for a walk as a family. And I was so happy about that, and I did like prioritize that family time. And I just put out a video a couple days ago, or was it yesterday, about prioritizing. And it is basically that family is like number one, and jobs and whatever, they're there, right? Like they are, of course, like part of that structure. But if we take the job out and we just say like family, friends are important, like taking care of your home. So, and also having your home decorated perhaps at the end of November helps you to feel like everything is in order. Your home's in order, your family, you've got plans, you've got the food taken care of. Everything can be so much easier. And when you're like, "Oh," like, but still, like, and even since I've sort of like developed the system for myself a couple of years ago, I have caught myself in the past where I've been behind the 8 ball. And so I just take my planner and I go ahead and I just like pick one of those big main things for the week, like decor, gifts, food, and events. So for us, like decor will be the last, I'll just say, like the last week of November. Um, Food, like buying the pantry items, I could do that today if I wanted to. So that's week 1. Gifts, maybe next week is when, and you don't necessarily have to buy them all, especially since we can do so much online shopping now. And if you can like go to a local shop or something, that's great. Get that done ahead of time. I'm actually going to a shop today. And I might grab a couple of things. My mom, she's the easiest to shop for. And then there's all the men I have to buy for. But having an idea of what you want to buy, just researching and making your list. And then if you wait until Black Friday or whenever things are on sale, you can just have it done. And you're like, I'm done, which is so great. Um, you could do your if you do stockings, you could do your stocking shopping that week. Um, and then event planning, almost when it comes to like setting things up with people, you could even do that in October if you wanted, but you can just make sure that if you want to. So for us, we have like a sort of a Christmas party every year. And what I will do is probably next week, I will get that all organized. So I'll decide what I want to cook. This year we're cooking a ham. I'll decide what appetizers and treats I want to have, and then I've just got it ready. And then I can make the list of the items that need to be purchased for that. And then I have that ready to go. So when it's just before the party and I'm buying, like vegetables and things, I have it ready, and I can even get a few things ahead of time. Keep them separate if you can in the fridge if you have space. All right. I'm going to get to the chat here. I used reindeer names on the gifts and the kids didn't. Oh my goodness, that's so good, Kim. The kids didn't know which reindeer name was there, so no one touched the gifts. That's so good. See, we didn't even wrap the presents when our kids were little for the longest time. Um, I think I'm not really sure why, but the reindeer gift names, that probably would have been a good way to do it. I think we would yeah, I should probably just start wrapping now. I love Christmas wrap. Part of it, I think, actually, going back as to family Christmas things is usually on Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, my grandpa, he would often do it. My grandma would be cooking, my grandpa would be wrapping presents. So it's sort of like that memory. So saving some of them to do sort of like a one day of wrapping, that's what, I have actually done in the past couple of years. But before that, when the kids were younger, it was like big wrapping all at once. My family, one thing is to decorate a homemade gingerbread house. Also, my family does a letter each year for the gifts. That is really nice. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's just so chill and relaxing. I love it. And Michelle says, that is such a great idea or cute idea, Kim. And Robyn says, my family loves to give knickknacks. I hate them because I have to look after them. I now give experiences and food, and they don't get the minimalist thing. I get it. My family is like, I'm not giving you anything, otherwise you'll declutter it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, or you could just like, do a gift card or nothing. Like, I'm fine with that. I actually love if people give me edible gifts. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Last year, my husband got, or was it last year? My mom one year, she gave my husband like all of this like cured meat and like cheeses and stuff, and he loved it. The problem is now he's not because of that, but he has higher cholesterol right now. And I mean, he is just isn't even like the biggest meat eater, but so we're watching the saturated fat, so that won't happen this year. Um, and what else? I like the focus on one category. So very helpful. Truly helps me to be successful. Thank you. Yeah. It really does help to just say, okay, this is so doable. And like I said, I'll just put that up there again, just so you can download the list and just make it easy on yourself. But yeah, I feel like when we have just it broken down into easy things. Like I even had like a Christmas playlist that I would have to re-download every year or remake or whatever. Now I have it. So I'll just start listening to it whenever I want. Although I did mention that I'm getting kind of tired of it, but I don't feel like finding new Christmas music to like. But yeah, and then just scheduling it in is the easiest way. Now, does anybody have any questions? Jams and other canned stuff. Yum. Yes. I love stuff like that. It's just the best. And actually, even one of the great things you can give, I think, is a little Christmas tree ornament is a really nice thing. If somebody gives me one, I'm like, this is great. I love it. I can put it up on the tree every year and appreciate it. I love it. And also this, yes, decluttering as I'm decorating is a reset for me and it makes things look new again. Yes, that's what we're doing in the Tidy Mighty Club right now. This month we're doing holiday decor, and that's what I'm saying is like declutter the decor as you're putting it up, but you could also declutter the decor you're putting away, which feels really good too. Yeah, I love that. And also before you decorate, here's a really good tip is do a nice good clean, which feels so nice too. Then it feels like you're just like going at that blank canvas and just putting things out and you can enjoy it. Also, when you are having busy days, having meals set up ahead of time is so helpful. The video I put out yesterday was it's the busy Wednesday is my busy day of the week. It's we've got church home group, we've got I've got like a business meeting thing that I'm in and I host half the time, and there's dinner to make, there's family, there's exercise, whatever, and trying to balance it all. And this last Wednesday, I thought, oh, we've got leftover salmon. Great. I know I have been wanting to make homemade tater tots. I know it's not a lot of work. I looked it up. So I decided I would make homemade tater tots, which were delicious. The recipe called for far too much salt. So we'll definitely half the salt next time. But it, I did not need to have to do that. And we also decided we would do bringing appetizers to the home group because we were celebrating something, and I was like, "Oh, I'll bring a dessert." So then here I'm like making a dessert. I spent over an hour cooking on a day I shouldn't have been, which is like I mean, not a ton of time to spend cooking, but on a day when you're busy, and this is the point I'm getting to, on a day when you're busy, try to make sure that you're having leftovers or whatever. So if you are decorating your house, one of the things we often did is we would get takeout pizza or something to take the load off when it is a really busy day. Even today, where I said, my mom's coming at 12:30, we're gonna have lunch, so in an hour. Then we're going to the craft fair, Christmas craft fair, which is like incredibly crazily early this year, but whatever. Um, I mean, I'm actually not doing Christmas stuff right now. I just am thinking and planning because that's how we stay sane. But going to do that, and but then I have some work to do this afternoon. I run other people's YouTube channels, so I'm like editing a video. And I am also going to be going for dinner with my friends. So knowing my family, my husband's working today, my family needs to eat. So I just made double last night. So they get leftovers today, which is great. So that little bit of planning ahead of time. And I've used this app on my phone. There's Plan to Eat, or there's another one called Resemi, like uh I think there's a dot after the I in recipe is a great way to organize all of your meals, to do meal planning. That's what I do. Um, and it just is so helpful. Just when you're sitting in the evening, if you have an evening where not a lot is going on, just do that little bit of planning. Make a list, put it in your planner. I do have a video on planners coming out. I'll probably do it next week. But having, this is a new planner, and my only issue with it is there isn't an actual month. Like this is the month, but I could put things in there. But it's not how I like to see a month. But writing out, just like plopping in the key events that are happening. And, like for us, we're going to Vancouver one day. What needs to happen before that? My mom's going to come and stay with the cats. So, what does she need to have things ready? What do we need? Like just simple things. So just looking, and I love to work a week ahead. So Thursday or Friday, the week before, I look at what is coming next week. I plop things into the actual days, like on my like this for the actual days. I plop things into the day, and then I know what to do that day. It's like having somebody tell you what to do without you having to think. It takes the think out of it, which is what I really like. And then the one other thing I really, really, okay. And then I just want to get to the chat real quick. So Michelle says, remember, some donation sites in the US won't accept holiday decorations after the 12th, which is why it's a great idea to do your decorating and decluttering before that. Whoops. And Abby says, such a great idea for cards. I use my cards as a bookmark for the coming year. Okay, I think I missed something here. Music playlist you let the kiddos make, Michelle. That's awesome. Abby, I make homemade Christmas ornaments and cards for everyone in the family. See, that is so sweet. I know Kim makes cards. She sent me one once, which was so nice and lovely. Yeah, that's really sweet. One tip I've heard is to declutter those decorations you don't put out this year. Exactly. That's exactly what you do. And as Michelle was saying, some places don't take them after the 12th. So what I've done in the past is I ended up actually going through the decor. Like, don't beat yourself up no matter what, don't beat yourself up. I'm getting to that in a minute. But whatever you do, if you like, yes, don't beat yourself up. But if you're decluttering your Christmas decor and you don't do it before you decorate, that's okay. If you do it after Christmas is over, the holidays, whatever, set it aside in a box and just put donate. And then come next November, donate it, or October or whatever. Just put it back where it was. It was already taking up space. But if you can, go through it now. Now, the other thing I want to say is, again, we cannot put too much expectation on ourselves. Burnout is when you are doing all of the things you have to do and none of the things you want. Overwhelm is when there's just too much to do. So remember, perfectionism is the invention of the devil. He wants us to be distracted and stuck and not enjoying our lives. So don't get stuck in perfection. Perfection is it's impossible to be perfect, so don't even try. Don't even try. Just know that sometimes something is going to get dropped. Something, no matter, how about this? This holiday season, this Christmas, you're going to forget something. Somebody's going to forget something. Somebody's going to break something. Something is going to happen. And you can be like, oh, that's the thing. Like whenever it happens, oh, that's the thing. And if something else happens, you can be like, oh, there's two things. Well, isn't that fun? Now I have two things that went wrong. Isn't that great? Aren't I lucky this year? So just understanding that, yes, like stuff is going to happen in the chaos. And that is how life goes. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The point is that you're enjoying yourself and that you have as much done as you want to get done. Don't get stuck in perfection. It's an invention of the devil. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to be getting dinner. Some people will call it dinner, lunch ready for my mom. And then we're going to the craft fair, which will be so nice. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Just making sure nobody's like typing something and then I like sign off and I'm like, oh no. But again, go ahead, download this just to help you out. You'll enjoy if you haven't, and people here have, but it just makes organizing so much easier. If you do the work in November, you will be ready to go, ready to enjoy life in December, and that is what it should be. Okay, so we do have some comments here. Exactly. Avoid burnout and overly busyness. Enjoy and absorb, yes, what is around you. Be in the moment and have fun. Enjoy December. Yes, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Um, I let go about half of my Christmas village. Barely had a chance unloading. People wanted it. That's great. That is so good. Yes, and of course, yes, selling things. You can also just put things for free. You could say free Christmas presents or whatever in a box. People would do it. Thank you. I will have fun. All right, friends, I'm going to go. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.